Welcome to The People Watchers, the show that lifts the lid on the hidden mind tricks we all subconsciously use every day. At the end of today's show, you should be able to make yourself instantly more attractive to the opposite sex.
For fun, go out.
Wait, what kind of play? What kind of music?
I like rock, indie.
Understand how a person can seem to levitate in the air.
Yeah! Levitation. That's what you need.
And see through shopkeepers' attempts to influence the products you buy.
I noticed there was music, but I didn't notice what music it was. I think everybody's influenced by what they hear.
I'm Richard Wiseman, Professor of Psychology at the University of Hertfordshire. I've written many books and conducted hundreds of experiments about the way we behave. For this show, I pulled together a crack team of experts who are going to show you why we do what we do. This is Dr. Jack Lewis. He's a neuroscientist. What he doesn't know about the human brain isn't worth knowing. Emma Kenny is a qualified psychologist and behavioural therapist. She can read a face like a book. And this is Sarah Clark. She's also a psychologist and an expert on human behaviour. Throughout the series, they'll be out and about on the streets of Britain playing devious tricks, carrying out clever experiments, demonstrating psychological techniques and generally getting up to no good in order to show you how you can use our knowledge in your everyday life. Together, we are the People Watchers. Words have the power to influence how we think and how we behave. Even reading a few words describing a certain emotion changes how we feel. Now, some psychologists think they can even influence whether we feel old or young, whether we're rude or whether we're polite. So I decided to roll up my sleeves, get my hands dirty, and test the theory by exposing a group of volunteers to some of the most common words in the English language. Words are powerful things. A few choice phrases can easily make us laugh or cry, inspire us or anger us. But could words be so powerful as to influence our behaviour without us knowing it? Can what we read actually affect how we act? We've invited some volunteers to the People Watchers offices to take part in what they think is a simple word exercise. What they don't know is that every move is being recorded by hidden cameras, and while the words may all seem random, they're actually very well chosen. But enough of me. I'll now hand you over to somebody much better qualified. Me.
I'm Richard. Hi. So this is going to be very straightforward. It's about words and memory. I'm going to give you 5 words like this, and your job is to make a sentence out of 4 of them. Might be she has many shoes is the sentence, and then you just leave whatever word you want on the clipboard. Okay? So if you want to take a seat for the moment. Okay. Oops. And so that's the first one for you. So if you'd like to stand up here and that.
Some of these sentences, like this one here, are completely neutral. You couldn't read much into "I like red roses," but the next few sentences are very different. These sentences contain words associated with old age and frailty. By putting these suggestions of weaknesses into our volunteer's head, the theory, known as priming, is we may be able to influence her behaviour. But can we? So how on earth can we quantify whether she's actually feeling weaker or older? Well, when she arrived, we secretly timed that it took her exactly 10.4 seconds to walk the length of the corridor. But on the way out, after she saw all those words, it took her 15.1 seconds to walk along the same corridor. So perhaps the words old and feeble went some way to slowing her down by almost 5 seconds. But what does she think of the theory?
While I was doing the task, it didn't seem I was taking that long. Or leaving the room, it didn't seem I was taking long at all. I thought my speed was the same as it was when I came in the room. I didn't realise that words would actually influence your behaviour.
So she's surprised that words could influence her behaviour in such a way. But maybe she simply wasn't in a rush. Let's see if we can slow down our second volunteer after he's completed the same task. Again, some of the sentences this man has put together are neutral, and some of them have words designed to make him feel old and feeble. When he arrived, it took him 10.7 seconds to walk the length of the corridor to the room. Yet on the way back after the test, it took him 11.8 seconds to walk the same distance. Not as impressive as our first volunteer, but still a 10% difference. So words may have the power to make healthy people feel weak and old. Now let's try to influence members of the opposite direction to try and further examine the theory. With our next volunteer, some of the sentences will again be neutral, but some will now contain words like young and energetic, words designed to make him feel sprightly and put a spring in his step. Let's see if it works. It took this volunteer 9.4 seconds to walk the length of the corridor, but after our test, he did it in just 8.3 seconds, quickening his pace by over a second.
Yeah, no, it probably did work, because when he asked me to explain my answer, I was thinking about a kid running around, so I was probably answering a bit more lively than when I walked in.
So along with the earlier data, it really does suggest that words can influence people's behaviour, making them walk slower or faster than they did before. Later in the People Watchers, we'll be using the same test to see if we can influence people's entire mood. Is it